Hi guys, Peter Filmer here, Windermere Real Estate, opening doors around the sound. Today is February 16th and I'm coming at you live with a little real estate market update. They talk about on the news a lot what's going on in the real estate market. We really don't know if that's national news, if that's Seattle news, maybe it's Washington, D.C. So what I want to do is I want to start providing you real market updates for the Pierce County market for those of you that are living in this area and want to know what's really going on around here. So I put together some stats. The first thing I want to do is go through the Pierce County market stats. I try to make it as easy as possible for you. I don't want to get too deep into the numbers and the minutia, but I'll start with the numbers for the county as a whole. Inventory at the beginning of this year is actually down almost 20%. So when they talk about inventory being low, inventory being down, they're right. And it is in Pierce County as well as other counties. In Pierce County, we have 1,500 active listings. Sounds like a lot of houses, but 1,500 houses for one of the biggest counties in Washington State is really nothing. We should have 3,000 to 5,000 houses for sale at any given time to have what I would call a balanced market. People say, well, what's a buyer's market and what's a seller's market? If you look at how many houses are selling each month and apply that, let's say there's 500 houses selling in a month and there's 500 houses for sale. That's a 1 month supply of inventory. That would definitely be a seller's market. What we like to think of as a balanced market is somewhere between, I would say, 4 to 6 months of inventory. That means it really isn't good for the buyer or the seller. It's an equal share or what we call a balanced market. If we have 7, 8, 9 months of inventory, then we're talking about a buyer's market, and you've got 100 houses to choose from in your price range, and the seller's going to have to probably make some sort of a deal with you. Unfortunately for all of you buyers that are out there right now, what we have is a seller's market. So going back to Pierce County as a whole, there are about 1,500 houses for sale in Pierce County. There are 1,250 pending sales today. That means in the last 30 to 40 days, buyers have gone out and written offers on 1,250 houses. So that's almost the same number of houses as are for sale. That means we have about a 1.5 month supply of real estate. So if you're a seller and you're thinking about selling, there isn't going to be a better time than today. We don't know what's going to happen in the next 2, 3, 4 months. And within different price ranges, there's going to be changes. So in some price ranges, there may be more inventory. So it isn't necessarily going to be a seller's market or a buyer's market for the whole market. It's you have to look within price ranges as well. The other thing I wanted to show you is that there's 1,000 sold in the last 30 days. So if you take 1,000 sold, 1,250 pending, that's over 2,000 in the last 30 days, and we only have, about 1,500 for sale. If we go kind of more, that was a macro look. If we go more into a micro look at the market and say, okay, well, within the Pierce County market, there are a whole bunch of smaller markets. There's Puyallup, and there's University Place and Stillicum. There are people that want to live in Gig Harbor. That's the market they want to know about. So what I did was I broke out 3 of the hottest markets in Pierce County right now, and we'll take a quick look at those as well, and then I'll post these graphs online as soon as I'm done here. So for North Tacoma, which is pretty much from the Narrows Bridge following 6th Ave all the way down to where Wrights Park is, everything north of that all the way to Point Defiance. That's a pretty big area. There are 48 houses for sale. That's it. From 0 to $3 million, 48 houses to choose from. It's not a lot to look at if you say, I really, really only want to live in the north end of Tacoma. There are 66 pending sales. That means there's almost twice as many pendings as there are for sale, and 51 houses sold in the last 30 days. That's over 100 pendings and solds and only 48 actives. That is definitely a seller's market. Holy cow, if you're a seller, hold on, because your house might sell in about 30 seconds with 5 offers. If your house is clean and fresh and crisp and ready to go, and you price it right, it's not going to be there very long, so get ready to move. The other market I want to talk about is University Place, which is really just west of here slightly. There are 51 houses for sale in University Place right now. There are 30 pendings, so it isn't a balanced market either. It's still a seller's market, but there's a little bit more to choose from if you're a buyer. If you're willing to look in North Tacoma and UP, you may have a better shot at finding something. Otherwise, you're going to have to put on your patience pants and wait for new stuff to come on the market. And when it does and your realtor calls you, you need to jump in the car and go look at that house immediately. And if you like it, you need to write it up. Gig Harbor. Gig Harbor is an interesting animal. There are 184 houses currently for sale in Gig Harbor, which also seems like a lot of inventory, but Gig Harbor is spread out in a pretty big area. There are 81 pending sales, which is about half of what the actives are. That means there's about a 2-month supply in Gig Harbor. North Tacoma had about a 3-week supply. Gig Harbor, and that's if the pending sales continue at the rate that they've gone for the last few months. So 81 pending sales on 184 houses for sale in all of Gig Harbor. The interesting thing is, if you break down that 184 houses that are for sale, that is a market that has a lot of houses in the 1 million plus range, up to 2, 3, maybe even a little bit more than 3 million. We have a couple listings out there. So from 0 to 500,000 in Gig Harbor, there's 52 houses for sale. Seems like a little bit more to choose from anyway. If you look at 500 to 1 million, there's 110. So twice as many houses from 500 to 1 million. And then if you really want to find the sweet spot between 500 and 700, there are 82 houses for sale. So think about that. Now, if you're a seller and you're in that price range, that's a lot more competition. If you're in that over 700 range, maybe you're 700 to 1 million, there's only 28 houses to choose from. You may have a better shot at getting your price than the guy who's got his house from 500 to 700, because those buyers have a lot more to choose from, unless you're willing to spend a little bit more time on the market. Now, if you look at over 1 million, there are almost 30 houses for sale in Gig Harbor over $1 million right now. So 184 houses, take away 30 of them, now you're down to 150. So, you know, under 1 million, there's really only 150 houses for sale in the Gig Harbor market. That is kind of my quick synopsis of the marketplace, the Pierce County market, and where things are trending right now. The other thing that I think we've all been hearing in the news, and it's reality, is that rates are going to go up. They've already bumped up a little bit. You can talk to your lender, give them a call, shoot an email. You can go on the web and Google it right now and see what the rates are, but we're looking at somewhere between 4.5% and 5% probably by the end of this year. So if you're a buyer and you're thinking about buying a house, I would get with your lender, get pre-approved, get ready, and get out there and start looking. The sooner you can buy, the better off you'll be. If prices go up between 5 and 10% this year on, say, a $400,000 house, that means that $400,000 house will be $440,000. If the rates go up from 4 to 5% and you've waited a year, you're not only going to pay $40,000 more for your house, but you're also going to pay another point in interest. And maybe that means if you're maxed out at 400, that now you can only buy 350 or 335. So it's important to think about these kinds of things. And if you're thinking about buying, jump in the market. If you're thinking about selling, jump in the market. It's a great market to be in right now. If anybody has any questions about any of this, feel free to call me, shoot me an email or a text, or IM me on Facebook. I'm always glad to hear from you guys. Thank you again, and I will post these graphs online here in just a few minutes. Have a great day.